It's time for our final big story for today as we turn our focus to the aviation sector, which is currently facing a turbulent period. Now, the ongoing economic crisis in Nigeria has taken a toll on domestic airlines, leading to a significant drop in passenger traffic. Now, recent data from the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority shows a 13% decline in domestic air travel between 2022 and 2023, with the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria reporting a 23% drop in passenger traffic at the Murtala Muhammed International Airport.
Now, this decline has been linked to rising airfares, poor living standards, and a dearth of disposable income, making it increasingly difficult for the average Nigerian to afford air travel. To discuss the impact of these economic challenges on the aviation industry and what this means for both airlines and passengers, we have with us today an expert in the field, Mazi Nnamdi Udoh, airspace infrastructure specialist and aviation consultant. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you here, sir.
Thank you very much.
My first question is going to be very, very ordinary. When was the last time you traveled within Nigeria using, well, you definitely did that recently.
On Tuesday, out of Abuja to Lagos.
May I ask how much you paid?
189,000 naira.
189. Let's just say round it off to 200,000. Uber there, Uber back.
Because I bought it maybe a week before time.
And a week in advance.
Yeah.
What was the price? What was the fare, say, a year ago?
A year ago, max 110, 115.
A year and a half ago, I paid 63,000 naira for a return ticket.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. I haven't left the shores of this state.
No, but in the last year, yeah. But can you imagine that disparity just a year and a half until now?
Oh, you know, I'll give you a bucket of Gary. Yeah, I'm using air ticket. Look at this elites. Please, I used to use
don't go too far.
Yeah.
Gary is usually the rock bottom staple food in Nigeria.
Very true.
Check the price.
Yeah.
But what's the gravity of this situation we're looking at now, sir?
The gravity is the same impact. Try buying this your tie. Try buying this suit. Try buying anything else. So aviation is not exclusive. They're not excluded from the impact. Usually, a strategy in government would have been to how do we save this trend? During COVID, most governments outside the shores of this country invested in the airlines to survive. And usually, when there is an economic major downturn, there are three basic things. Number one, food. Number two, health. And what does these two ride on? Logistics. What's the logistics? Air transportation, road transportation, rail. So without logistics, you can't move food, you can't move medicine. And during COVID, it played out obviously that even when there is total ban on movement, if you have 10 loaves of bread in your car, they'll allow you to go. But even our local police understood that people need to eat. And even when there was no air transportation, cargo flights were coming.
I must ask, before this 1 year that we've seen this very huge decline in our economic situation in Nigeria, then the domestic aviation sector had been facing a myriad of challenges. Do you think it also contributed to what we're seeing currently in present day?
Definitely, of course. I mean, domestic carriers, because they're all privately run business, they just groan and keep complaining and keep, this is my 44th year in the industry. And we have passion. Because back in the days, government gave us scholarship, trained us, sent us abroad, prepared us to grow the industry. Because aviation is a major vehicle to grow the economy. Unfortunately, when things like this happen, nobody tends to see the chain of a problem. Because the chain of problem that you must solve link by link. We can't be exempted from the impact of what is happening. And that's why you see, you go to the airport, very few people travel. Yeah. And most of those travels are no longer leisure, they're business, which means corporate funds It's paying.
So, sir, how will the industry survive if nobody is using the airspace anymore? If that means the businesses don't have customers, they still need to run the business, run
Correct.
generators, run the aircrafts, maintain them.
One
How
of
do they
my
survive?
excitements for discussing this is nobody thinks the way we are thinking. Without the airlines, there is no NAMA, there's no fan, there's no AC. What are you regulating? What are you going to regulate? So we must make these airlines to survive. Either way. I mean, as consultant, I need to be paid to say what needs to be done. But the truth is,
Nation building now.
no, for nation building, well, I have to build myself first. The truth is, and I say it, government must look inward now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, rather, now.
What do they need to do exactly?
Begin to talk to the airlines what they need. And the airlines need different things. How many airlines go to Akure? How many airlines go to Ibadan? How many airlines go to Mina? We need to begin to look at airlines that will go to those places. Thank God, a few government initiatives which have not been sustained. We've been looking in those areas where airlines are encouraged to go to lower airports where they can pay little. However, critical to it is finding ways and means to have aviation fuel available. Now, if the very tail end of the need of energy, PMS, we're still speaking this English, and it's unfortunate. I've once said on TV, government should just engage the Nigerian Society of Engineers and all the petroleum engineers, lock all of us in a room for a few days. We'll find solution. I mean, a private enterprise has just developed a refinery. And we're speaking long English to give him raw material that is within. That explains it to you.
Mazi, the aviation, you just talked about aviation fuel, and I think if I'm going to track this back to 2 years ago, we saw a steady increase of the price of the fuel of the aviation fuel, which was impeding on the price tickets that we've seen. And 1 year into the administration, Festus Keyamo is the current aviation minister. Herculean tasks, everyone said, all the critics, every analyst, every expert, consultant. So far, so good. 1 year, has he done significantly well? Has he done?
Well, it would be unfair to evaluate my brother on television, but he needs to talk to us. He needs help. He needs to call robust men. There are many of us. There are all of us. Waiting, relax, having coffee. Dr. Demoran, Bernard Elika, myself. There are many of us.
He needs help in what areas? In what areas?
Tell me what to do. Advise me. Today, one of the most robust documents we've used to grow the industry is the Paul Dicke document, where a minister chose to call all of them, took them to Ascom Badagry, and they developed this document under President Obasanjo. And there is no way a minister can sit in his office and dish out directives. That's why when we started Nigerian Air, I said, good idea, they brought one of the best brains, Dr. Olumide, to run it. Today, government has gone and used the court to say all that effort is cancelled. Now, any nation that does not respect legal instruments, contractual agreements, cannot prosper. Prosperity is based on the law. That's why Procurement Act is a law by National Assembly.
So he needs to call the big
He
brains.
needs to speak to people. I'm not talking about go and have retreat in Warri or Maiduguri with 10 people.
Mazi Nnamdi Udoh, does that mean that he perhaps maybe lacks the pedigree or?
No. You know, like I said, it would be unfair for me to evaluate it, but I just said he needs to call people.
Okay.
And those people are available. They're willing. They might sound like critics. Yes, take the criticism. Take it. Did they not start to criticize this government? And Mr. President said, give Dangote fuel.
Given the harsh economic climate,
Yeah.
given the decline in passengers and ticket sales, what is the future for the Nigerian aviation sector?
Bleak future. Wow. We need to do something now. We need to do something. There is, look, anywhere you go, government will always look into aviation. You see all these KLM, Air France, name them. Government do not, yes, it's privately run, well-run Emirate. Go to Dubai. Half of the people running Emirate are not citizens of UAE. They're not Americans, British people. Nigerians fly there because their government is always putting an eye. How did Dubai grow? Government support.
Real quick, sir.
Yes,
44 years in the industry. You are one of the big men you spoke about that Keyamo could call and consult from.
Yeah.
What measure would you advise that could be implemented currently that will drop the price of airfare in Nigeria?
Fuel, do some hedging. Government can invest in, get the airlines together, use a warehouse, invest through the banks, bringing in this aviation fuel, pending when the refineries are fixed to have a line for aviation fuel. And the ultimate long-term solution, we need to produce our fuel in Nigeria.
Mazi, the future of these refineries is bleak.
No. Look, if I say to government, challenge me, give me 3 months, I hand over one refinery to me, I have some engineering ideas of what goes on there, production technology, what goes on in the refinery. I will bring experts that will work and report to me. It's not rocket science. And we know those men. They are very intelligent. Did you not listen to the MD of NNPC saying he doesn't want to say anything, but I will speak now? Say it now, what needs to be done?